Welcome to Cutie Cute Cards and Crafts. Today I'll be making a card. Today I'll be using that metallic acrylic paint that I found stashed away in my craft box in the garage a few weeks ago. Still don't know where it's from. Still don't know how I got it, but I have it. And so I'm just going to mix it in with a little bit of water to thin it out. And then I'm just going to do a nice thin and even wash on top of my Canton's watercolor paper. That watercolor paper is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to do a nice, thin, even coat on top. And it's going to leave that paper with a nice metallic shine. And you can't really tell at this angle how shiny it really is, but at the end of the video you'll see I took a picture and I made sure to get some of that real bright sunlight in to show how shiny that card really is. I love this effect. I didn't realize that I could actually do this with the acrylic paint. It's like I just purchased metallic paper and the paper came out really smooth and easy to write on afterwards. I think I'm going to be doing a lot more cards like this in the future. So now I'm just going to let it dry, and now I'm back. And I had trimmed the card base 1/4 of an inch around each side. So now the card base measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. I had to think about it. That's why it took me so long to get the words out. I also wrote out the word awesome in pencil off camera. So now I'm just using those pencil lines as a guide to write out the word awesome. And I wish I kind of fixed the spacing a little bit, because you can tell once I get to the M and the E, I'm kind of just, the letters become narrower and it kind of looks like I ran out of room. Now I'm going back over with my brush and thickening up some of those lines. And trying my best not to mess up what I've already written. And if you've seen a lot of my other videos, that is my Dr. P.H. Martin's Hydrus liquid watercolor in carbon black that I use. I put it in a little contact lens container. I also, this time around, didn't add a lot of water like I usually do to the liquid watercolor. I added a little bit to kind of thin it out to make it easier to write with, but I still kept it a little on the thick side, thicker than I'm usually used to. And that's just because I feel like the metallic sheen of the paper might take away from the writing when you hit a certain angle, and that metallic shine just really just makes everything it hides everything because it's so shiny. Not like blindingly shiny, but you know what I mean. And I didn't want the word to kind of get lost in all that. So I kind of kept it, by not watering it down too much, it really kept that pigment and made it really dark. I'm just going to finish that up, and then I'm going to add the rest of the sentiment, which is hope your day is. And I'm going to write that down first in pencil. And my first mistake, well, maybe the one mistake that I made in doing this part of the sentiment was making the pencil line a little too dark. It made erasing it a lot harder. And that's just because when I did write this down, I thought that I was pretty sure that was where the words were going to go. But when I looked at it from far away, I noticed it was a little too far to the right. So I decided to, when I went to the pen with it, to bring it over just a tad bit to the left. to make it more center. And so it was a little hard to erase those pencil lines without smudging everything I had written. So hindsight 2020, no matter how confident I feel, I'm always going to write really light with that pencil. So I'm using my Tombow Fudenosuke brush calligraphy pen in soft tip. And sad story is, you'll see me put that pen down and not put the cap on. And shortly after we filmed this video, my family and I, we went on a trip to run some errands, and I never put the cap back on that pen. And so when I came home, it was dried out, and I was so sad. And I put the cap on it, but I feel like, I mean, it's, and some of the ink is coming back, but I feel like it's done for. I might just buy a new one. And now I'm taking a piece of brown paper. That is a brown paper from Paper Source. And I am going to mat that metallic paper onto that brown piece of paper. And now that brown piece of paper, because I trimmed down the edges of that card front, and so that brown piece of paper is now 4 inches by 5 1/4. So it's going to give a nice thin border, and then once it's on the card base, that's going to end up with a border. Now you see that I don't know what's wrong with my paper trimmer. It's not like the cleanest of cuts. I've replaced the blade a gajillion times, and even with a fresh blade, it just doesn't give that clean cut. So I find myself having to trim off those edges like all the time. And there is the final card. And now you see that really bright shine. I hope you enjoyed this card. Please leave a message down below and let me know what else you want to see. And thanks for watching. Bye.